Welcome back, nieces and nephews, to JEWAP, which stands for Just Everything with Auntie Pookie Podcast. I am your host, Sydney, or as many know me as Auntie Pookie. Now, today is day 13 of Black History Month. Woo woo. And today we're going to talk about Malcolm X, who was a minister, leader in the Civil Rights Movement, and supporter of the Black nationalism. Malcolm X was born in 1925 in Omaha, Nebraska, and his father was a Baptist preacher. Now, some of the research I did didn't mention a lot about his mom. But anywho, so his dad moved him and his family because they were getting threats from the KKK. Even though he moved the family, they were still getting threats and still having issues with just all segregation. And then in 1931, rumor has it that Malcolm's father was murdered by a white supremacist group called the Black Legionaries, which is just so crazy. Just reading all of the facts and everything that I've encountered with all the people, again, that I've been researching, it's just crazy how people hate people that much where they're creating groups to kill people. Just buck wild. And during this time, like after his father's death, the police wouldn't even let Malcolm and his family have access to any of his father's benefits or money or anything. Around the age 6, Malcolm X entered into foster care, and his mom had a nervous breakdown. And as intelligent as he was, he dropped out of school around the 8th grade, and he started dealing drugs and got the nickname Detroit Red. He was a dealer for a while, and then around the age 21, he got arrested for larceny and he went to prison. While he was in prison, he encountered the teaching of Elijah Muhammad, who was the head of the Lost Nation of Islam and Black Muslims. And after he did a lot of research and just really got involved of what Elijah Muhammad was doing, soon after that, Malcolm added the X to his name. After serving his 6 years in prison, he became a minister of the Moscow No. 7 in Harlem. The nation grew from 400 members in 1952 to 40K by 1960. With all this attention, he even became admired by Muhammad Ali, and they became really close friends before they had a falling out. When it came to Malcolm X, he, of course, wanted to make change, but he did not really think to do it in a safe manner. He was pretty much saying, we got to do what we got to do no matter what. And that put him on the other side of just Martin Luther King's thinking, who was really trying to do things that were nonviolent. And because he pretty much was like, what's up, what's poppin', we fighting, he became a hot commodity for the FBI. And the FBI watched him from the time he was in prison to the time he got out, and then up into the time he got assassinated. During this time, he got married to a lady named Betty Shabazz. They had 6 kids, and their kids also became really outspoken advocates. And they didn't really give the kids' last name because I was going to research them as well, see if I could maybe try to speak to one of them. But they didn't really have any information on them as well, unless I was looking in the wrong place. Now, through this time of Malcolm's just ministry, there became corruption in the Nation of Islam, which then Malcolm X became suspended after his repulsive comments about John F. Kennedy's assassination. What is interesting to me is that, or I guess my question is, why freedom of speech was such a issue with Black people. I mean, obviously it was Black people, but I just wonder why it was just such a big situation when they made the amendments. Now, after Malcolm X was suspended, he traveled to Saudi Arabia, where he went under a spiritual transformation. And he ended up changing his name, and excuse me if I butcher this, but it is El Hajj Malik El Shabazz. After returning to the States, he funded the organization, the Afro-American Unity, which got a lot of attention, and a lot of people that I'm going to be mentioning for the rest of the month were also a part of that as well. And to my knowledge, Maya Angelou was a part of that too. And just thinking of this, like this was 1964 and we're in 2023. It's just wild. Then about a year later, not to the date I would say, but on February 21st of 1965, he was gunned down, or I should say assassinated, by 3 men at the Afro-American Unity rally at a ballroom in New York City. And the rumor is that he was assassinated by the people who were members of the Nation of Islam and affiliated with a religious leader named Louis Farrakhan. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, but it wasn't confirmed at all. So technically he has a cold case and no one has figured it out. Just from thinking of everything and doing research, and just sometimes when my mind goes, I'm just like, the people who really want to make change are not safe. And it's sad because, you know, they end up getting assassinated, or they disappear, or their life just goes down the drain. I've noticed with a lot of celebrities that tell the truth about how the industry is, the industry shames them terribly, and then they like disappear off the face of the earth. And then you randomly see them at a bar or something, you know, or at a restaurant eating with friends, and they look so rough. So if you want to make change, I say do it, and don't be scared, but be safe. And that concludes day 13 of Black History Month. And also, really quick, yesterday was my sister's birthday, and I posted a different thing on for yesterday. But yeah, happy birthday, sister.